And I said for so many years.
Shalom, shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakwadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the rest of the elder bishops as well. Greetings to the hopeful elect out there, man, woman, and child. All right. Let me just let this video play out. I literally just seen it on my timeline, so I'm gonna let it play out. And I don't even have a scripture in the dome right now, but this guy brings out some key facts. You know, he brings out some facts, man, about what we're seeing, okay, in the transition of this great reset that the global elite have been speaking to the people about. All right, if you've been listening. So let me let the video play, because everything he's saying, the global elite have been literally getting up on stages. Okay, if you've been keeping it up, you can look up something called the WEF. Okay, World Economic Forum, WHO, World Health Organization, and again, Copyright Act. You know, I'm using this only for educational purposes. Copyright Act, I think of 1967, something like that, 1947. But yeah, see, these everyday Edomites, these everyday so-called white people are, unfortunately, if you're not among the super elite or the bottom class of those elite families, okay, it's just one big gang at the top. Think about a pyramid scheme. Um, they don't, they're transitioning into, the wealth, the rich getting wealthier. And if you're not of that group, you know, you're gonna get caught up in this MOTB system. All right. Let me get a scripture before we play it. You go get caught up in this MOTB system, and it actually says that because you could be rich. All right, you could have $1 million in cash, you could have $1 million in the bank account, but we know who controls the banking systems, the tiny hats. Okay, let me see. Hold on. They control all of that. They don't have to insure your money, even though it's supposed to be FDIC insured up to $200,000. This new changeover to this digital system, if you're not a part of that group, you're gonna be left out. And guess what? You everyday so-called, they had something called white privilege. You everyday so-called Edomites, because that's your true nationality, not so-called, but you so-called white people, your true nationality according to the Bible are the Edomites. Okay, you're the nation that Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, is coming back to destroy. All right, and deliver the children of Israel out of, captivity underneath you Edomites. All right, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and then you're gonna have the Israelite foreigners, Gentile that look like the heathens but are actually Israelites. So let's read this, and then we're gonna play the letter, because the video I'm gonna show you, this dude, he just looked defeated, and a lot of you Edomites don't know the imminent. You're getting ready to go. You're 3-time loser because of the kingdom, which is gonna be here on the earth when the Israelites take over, which is literally around the corner. Missiles get shot off. Yahweh Shai delivers his elect, sets up his kingdom on earth. You going into slavery. But before that, you getting ready to go into slavery. And your own people, your own tribesmen, kinfolk, the tribe of Amalek, the tiny hats, okay, you are the same people. And then, of course, you got like other nationalities that can convert to the Ish people. But Esau Edom is running that whole Ish thing, the Ish people small hat thing. Okay, and that's how wicked of a nation of people you are altogether. You know, so you Edomites out there, man, that's not winning. Okay, because even a dude like Trump, man, these devils are so sadistic. As you get to the top, man, they'll off each other for no reason, just on some shit like, nah, you ain't coming with us, you ain't getting on this boat. I never liked you anyway. That's how these scoundrels are. They're known as scoundrels in the scriptures, villains as well, serpents, demons, devils, Satan. Okay, this Revelation 13 and all right, 16, and he calleth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And we always go into this GMS word camp that speaks often about the mark of the beast, because this is literally the okay second to last major prophecy, within the third, to last prophecy, because of course Jacob's trouble, the missiles, nuclear missiles, World War III. All right, but all of those things are literally uh all, what the word I'm looking for, are hinged on the MOTB, the mark of the beast. Okay, because that's when all of these things gonna get kicked off. It tells you in Job the 20th chapter that these people that are, in the dark doing all this stiff stuff won't be able to fill their belly when they go at their new world order, that's what this mark of the beast system is about. And it's not just going to be about the mark, which that word mark right there is charagma, and it's dealing with a database, meaning an incision underneath the skin and a database when you exhaust the word in the blue letter, the word mark. Okay, three different words. Okay, um, that you extract out of, this English word mark right there, charagma, and graphos, graph. All right, it says, and he causeth both small, great, rich and poor. So yeah, a dude like Floyd Mayweather, a dude like Jesse Jackson, a dude like LeBron James, niggas like, just depend on who they handlers are, and how much they handlers hold weight. Because a lot of these ish people, these lower level motherfuckers, are gonna get left behind too. Because Esau's house is divided, something supreme right now. So they're gonna get left out there to drown. And if there's any alt, okay, their handlers are gonna subject them to this system. So, we we're going into a very chaotic time. And the Lord prophesied, the Lord said that if Satan's house be divided, how shall it stand? And these Edomites are divided. So it says small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, even free and bond. So if you in jail, prison, you have to take it. If you a free man, but it says small or great, rich or poor. All right. More than likely, the super elite are not planning on saving guys like Floyd Mayweather and these, you know, celebrities. Okay, they got their $1 billion bunkers, and they got certain people. The scriptures speak about different people they're gonna, try to, arise out of the ashes with. They got this particular servants, cooks, of course. Certain people they're gonna take down there with them. Well, let's play this. All right. But what's going to pendulum around that is he's going to speak about it around this MOTB, because once you take this chip, it's going to literally, it's going to really put you in the game to this system that they're building around. So let's play this video.
Years back into the 1990s, if you want to see what's planned for the West tomorrow, look at China today. And in China, you have millions of cameras in the cities. They can find you in literally minutes wherever you are. These, facial recognition cameras, etc. And they have this social credit system. So you get points if you behave in ways that suit the government. You lose points, credits, if you behave in ways that doesn't suit the government. And if you lose enough credits, then you are excluded from mainstream society. What happened during COVID to people that wouldn't have the jab and refused to wear masks? They were excluded from mainstream society. Exactly. That was a pre-run in so many ways of where they want society to go. If you didn't like COVID, well, you're not going to like what's planned coming up. So in China, if you lose enough credits, you can't go on a train, you can't get on a plane, you cannot function in a mainstream society. And this whole social credit system is moving very fast into the West. The digital ID, the digital currency, the control by AI, the control of everything via AI. You know, you're seeing some supermarkets being introduced now where you need a QR code to go in. But what if you don't have a smartphone? What if you don't want to be part of that system? Well, you don't get in the supermarket then.
You pay with your fingerprint too.
Yeah, of course you can. It's the same thing. It's all this unfolding control system.
The UK government has released a video.
Yeah, again, go back to be saying that chip is going to solve all of them problems. Because eventually people are going to get tired of fingerprinting system. You know, it might have glitches in that. Then the facial scan might have certain glitches. You know, ain't nobody going to want to scan their retina, you know. And then, you know, that chip is going to be the answer right there. Okay, that chip is going to be how some people took that jab in 2020. You know, that's what that chip going to be. You're going to worship it like an idol. And see, that's what that chip is. It's a branding going into a, you know, in the ancient world, also known as a awl, AWL, a stamp. It's a modern day technocratic stamp. Like, you want to be a part of this government, you want to be a part of this new rule. Okay, you got to take this. You know, you got to brand yourself by the beast. You know, which is an ancient custom of Rome. They used to brand their subjects. Greece as well. You know, and you gotta think about it. They can bring that chip in behind all kind of different measures. Okay, immigration, false flag events, Black Swan event, some terroristic, okay, homegrown. It's gonna all be orchestrated. You know, all right, we need to get more surveillance. We need to be able to track people. If you don't want to take this, just like they did with the jab, then you're not American. You're not. You're a danger to society. You don't want to. You know, we need to. We have too many foreigners over here. We can't check everybody. We need. You know, we just need everybody to come down to these stations because they just set off a pocket nuke in the middle of such and such. You know, and they could just play in y'all face like that. I mean, they look at what they was just doing over there in the Gaza. All right, the Gaza Strip over there. Okay, totally demolished that place, and you know, and the people that was over there. That's all I'm gonna say. So you think they don't want to do when they want something? Okay, they're gonna take it, as the scriptures say, and know that they're gonna take. They're not even gonna take until they had enough. They're gonna take everything. Okay, it speaks about that in Obadiah. Shall the grape gatherers take until they, you know, pretty much have had enough? But see, Esau, Edom, they, you know, they want everything. They don't even want to leave a leaf on the tree for you to eat. You know, in a famine. You know, so let's So yeah, that thing is gonna come in hard. That MOTB, they're gonna use celebrities. You got certain people already got it, already getting it behind the scenes. It's required. Certain, I'm sure, administrations of government. We know in the military, we've actually brought out lessons. Okay, certain people we've interviewed in the military that said they. One dude told us he took two. You know, certain your celebrities probably already got it. Certain of them that's know it's coming because they got millions of dollars. Some of them billions. So they know that in order for them to keep at least, they don't know if they're gonna be able to keep all their wealth if they not juiced in the right way. But the best shot they got, okay, is to take that chip, all right, early. Take that shit now, all right, to show their allegiance to the beast because they've already sold out, man. But these everyday, while you got these so-called white, racist, you know, really basking in their, ego and pride. All of these effeminate Edomite men, they're really having a kick at saying the N-word on social media. Okay, and really these guys are weak as hell, man. These are the type of guys you could bitch slap and they'll cry or run from you. Okay, that's the average Edomite man, so-called white man. You talk shit, all right, because Donald Trump told him to, but when you get up on them, the motherfuckers start crying, man. Okay, what are you gonna do when this system is and you Edomites gonna take it because crime is gonna get to the point where a lot of you heathens are gonna get messed up in these streets. Okay, you'll get messed up in these streets, and you're gonna go into captivity under some jakes. All right, before the kingdom. Because Jake got straps too. Well, let's play this.
The UK government has released a video showcasing their digital ID system that's set to be rolled out next year. And in this video, they attempt to paint anyone who uses a physical ID as someone who's just clumsy and outdated.
Pay the rent debt today or I'll evict you.
Commercial, son.
I promise, I'll pay.
Get that shit out of
Can
there.
I get a pint of lager, please?
Yeah, of course. Can I just use my...
Yeah, no worries. I've got someone here.
Hi, can I have a pint of Christmas crack?
Oh man, and they got something right now called gang stalking. It's been around for years, and a lot of people that are experiencing gang stalking, they also call themselves targeted individuals. They're damn near losing their minds. They're going crazy because a lot of them don't understand. Some of them understand spiritual warfare, but because they don't understand the love of the truth, okay, it's all kind of demons that come with it. It's really just, all right, we're in the last seconds of these literal demons that the Lord spoke about, having their free reign to do what they need to do. So pretty much if you have any wholesomeness left in you, these spirits will, seek you out and try to destroy you, and it's very vigorous. I've experienced it because there is a truth element to it. But with this new system, that they're getting ready to bring out, how much more is it going to be? Like this little video that they're getting ready to show you that I was getting ready to play. I'll go back to it. These people are being conditioned. All right, when you actually get into the gang stuff, it might take you a while to figure out what's going on because there is a level of awakening. It's a lot of psychological warfare, and these people are always always being conditioned. With who's the who to point the finger at, who's the the bad guy, who's at the bottom of the social class. These. All right, and the pudding is in the proof. All right, when it comes to you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, look at how these people, look at you. They've been socially engineered. So when this comes out, man, it's gonna be something heavy, man. It's gonna be a great evil time because people are gonna People are gonna be socially engineered to track and trace you, try to get you, barred out of society. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because they do that now. Again, if you got any light in your soul, you got any, type of empathy or creativity, if you just got that light on you, people want to dim that light. They want to set traps. But see, Lord said, if you do what's right unto me, I will even cause thy enemies to entreat thee well. So a lot of times these people, they can't help but just bow down in the spirit, which that's what it truly means to be blessed. Well, let me get this. This is Psalm 16 and 8. I have set the Lord Yahweh always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope, for thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. Okay, neither wilt thou suffer thine holy one to see corruption. All right, and speaking about Yahweh, but this applies to us. King David said this. All right, our souls won't be corrupted like these people. As the days go by, these people, even though a lot of people think they're waking up to the truth, they're still being socially engineered heavily, because they don't have the foundation of Yahweh Shai. Okay, everything they throw out is just being filled up with something else. Okay, and I'm talking about their vessels, their minds, their hearts, their spirit. So taking that chip, and ultimately the Lord's gonna lift up a standard for us, just like he did all his prophets. Okay, shit, Elijah got to the point where he just got scooped up by what you world ignorantly call a UFO. King David got delivered by what the world ignorantly calls UFOs. Man, what the hell? Oh, secretly. 1 second. Poor in secret. Again, Elisha was shown a sky filled with angels. Okay, what you ignorantly call the UFOs, the angels of the Lord. All right. So even though the men of the Lord, the women of the Lord went through some dire straits, okay, they were delivered in dire manners. You know what I'm saying? With dire power, whatever that word dire means. I should look it up. It says Psalm 64 and 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And though we're going to have to be as pilgrims and leave it all behind, leave the world behind, okay, the Lord is going to hide us at the same time. And then some of us have been handpicked to go before, high level, people in the society. Some of us locked up, some of us beheaded. Okay. And those who are going to be beheaded, most likely, those are the ones that's going to have to go through, the councils and all of that, which is, some are going to be delivered out of that. Some are going to be delivered out of that. Some are going to be glorified, all right, and rather take death. Okay. And the Lord's going to put the spirit on you, do whatever you need to do, say whatever you need to say. Okay. And so even with that, you're going to be hidden, because our lives are hidden. Our souls are hidden within Yahweh Shai. We just read it. You will not leave our soul in hell. For the Lord to leave your soul in hell is to be like one of these people. Okay. Body snatchers, these high level is, this spiritual warfare. You get your soul snatched. So you dead before you even dead. Well, guess what? This body is just a meat suit. Our spirit won't be corrupted, and the Lord gonna give us another body and put us back on earth. So that's what we're fighting for. And that new body is gonna be impenetrable. Okay. God's on the earth, man. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect Yeah, the righteous, all right, the elect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay, and that's going to be this, all right, this chip, because really it's a target. It's to put us in a very narrow way, as the scripture speaks about in put our back against the wall. It speaks about that in Wisdom of Solomon, how they're gonna really try us out and test us to see whether we be the sons of God. Okay, we're gonna get delivered. That chip, really, but Esau gonna get everybody. Might as well. Okay, because he knows that his kingdom has been infiltrated, all right, by the angels, the Israelites. You got Israelites scattered in every nation among all of these nations out here that look like these other nations. You got Israelite, all right, spirits in these bodies, so-called black people in these vessels of people that look like other nations. It's deep. Okay. It says it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? The scriptures over and over again speaks about the wicked. All right. A particular group, nation of people. It sometimes it's not going to say the wicked. It's not going to say Esau, Edom. But Malachi 1 establishes that. So when you start at Esau, which is the border of wickedness, all right, he is the standard of wickedness. If there was a measuring stick, then it falls under, individuality. Okay, so when you read scriptures like this, it could mean the dope nigga up the street, but we know this applies to, okay, governments and people that are in power first and foremost. Like King David was a king himself. Okay, do you know what it takes to uphold a kingdom? You got to go to war with other kings and shit, man. All right. It says, this is 8. Oh yeah, let's hit 7. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Those missiles, because those missiles belong to the Lord. He's the one that gave you Temanites, you Edomites, the download, the understanding of the atomic equation. The scriptures speak about that. Okay. Another topic for another time, but let's play this video out.
Anchor, please. So we're changing the law so that next Christmas, young people will have their ID on their phone, so they won't have all of the hassle of needing to get ID or leaving their ID at home or their paper ID getting lost or damaged. So it means that giving your ID is safer than it's ever been before.
Safer than it's ever been before. I'm not too sure.
Last thing I'm going to say, man, that's why these people got to go, man. Isaiah, the 14th chapter says it best. I'm not going to get it. But the earth is going to rejoice. Just imagine waking up day in and day out and you got to hear something. Okay? Something that really is nothing in the scheme of life. The earth is a paradise in reality. These people that are in front of us setting up all of these wicked policies. What's that in Daniel, the 8th chapter? Through their craft, they shall cause, through their policies, they cause craftiness to prosper. Deceitfulness, to prosper, man. So if these people would just disappear in the next 5 minutes, the earth would rejoice. Okay. And who's pulling the strings, like that movie Wizard of Oz? Who was actually behind the curtain? Okay, it's the so-called white man. All right, because they set up all of these different, you look around, prime minister over here, that country, prime minister over there, the sultan over there, the black mayor over here. They'll put these different nationalities in front of you, so you think that, you can't get to the source, it's all equality, but actually the so-called white man is pulling the strings, man. Okay. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. All right. Who is the wicked? The Edomites, Malachi, the 1st chapter. So these people are the problem. This is why, you go into the book of Revelations, it speaks about, okay, these people being the red horse, the pale horse, they take away peace from earth. All right. When these when you really start to see the effects in real time of all of these things, these prophecies that's gonna come out and really change people's lives, that's when you're gonna fully understand, all right, the things we're telling you. Okay. Yes, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the red horse, and they've actually admitted that. I'm bad with names, but some white woman came out and was just saying that, some, reputable, you know, among these Edomites, she came out and said that, and she's not the only one. Okay, you lower level people, you goyim, you everyday Edomites who've been sold out. Okay, you don't know that you're the devil, all right, and that you're, the red horse and all of that, but you act like it. You real Edomites out here, you just wicked. You're being brought down by your own people, your own system, but you can't stop your bloodthirst and your hatred for, the darker nations or people that, for no reason. And the same policies that you vote out or you come up against that can actually help you and yours, you want to get counseled just so, Jake can't get it, all right? The Negro, Latino, Native American can't get it. It's coming out all in the media. All of these, because if you give Jake a little bit of string, you give Jake a little bit, he gonna make a lot out of it. He gonna take it way further, and then you devils can't move off of that white supremacy no more, because it's gonna be evident that you ain't supreme to the Israelites, man. Okay, and under this digital prison, can't nobody be unique. Okay, shit, I can only imagine, man. So this is why we're gonna have our minds girded and really have the joy of this truth in us, the love of this truth, because we're gonna have to know that it's better days, brighter days than this, man. Because these people are getting ready to you think they proud now, man. But the Lord gonna have you people so destroyed, you're gonna be sick, So yeah, man, the more you people be proud, the more you just gonna be more destroyed. Your health is gonna get worse. You ain't gonna be able to say ha ha. You people gonna be sick. You're gonna have you're gonna have cancer. That's what this chip is gonna give you. The scriptures speak about that. Look how worried this nigga is. He red as hell. He know it's over. The days of, everybody looking towards you Esau is over. Okay. People don't go to you for counsel or nothing. They just treat you like another regular person now. The only people that still admire you Edomites are Jake, niggas and spiggers. Everybody else is just like, whatever. A lot of people don't like you, so-called white people, man. All right? Because you're being exposed. The Lord is exposing you right now. All right? And Psalm 64 was going into that. Okay? How your tongue, your tongue is falling upon yourself. You Edomites are coming out and just admitting every goddamn thing. I was just watching something called the Frazzle. It's called the Frazzle something. And this is real. Okay, with Hillary Clinton, man. All right, pulling the faces off babies and children and shit, man. That's that club, man. Okay, that's the club. These are the people that's running the world, man. All right, terrorizing children, pedo and all, just for the fun of it, because they got high level demons on them. They want to drink the children's blood, man. That's real. I'm not. Look it up. I forgot the name of. I got the video, but I'm not about to play it. Okay, that stuff is real. That's not no theories. Esau's tongue is falling upon himself. Okay, and in different parts of the Bible, it reiterates that the Most High is going to lift the skirt of Esau, Edom. He's going to make bare the leg, meaning reveal before his coming. He's going to reveal this devil. So these devils are being brought up on charges right now, and then what? The final judgment. So we're in that time. We're right here. So we're gonna have to just rejoice in that, man, because it's gonna get real strange and bugged out, man. It's not even gonna make sense out here. The whole system is gonna mean to harass you and drive you insane, man.
Or about that. There are still concerns around digital IDs and the security around them. Freya, what do you think of that ad?
Well, the ad left a very sour taste in my mouth, I must say. Depicting anyone that prefers the old school ID as somehow stupid or bumbling is just insulting. But I mean, I must admit, on this one, I might be a little contrarian on Sky. Here in New South Wales, we do have our driver's license on our Service New South Wales apps. And I must say, I don't even carry a wallet around anymore. I've got my debit card on there, my license, everything. Now I can see Kel looking a bit concerned over there. But I, as a Gen Z native, it's just I can't get around the old school paper stuff. I'm sorry. So I'm a fan of what we have here in New South Wales, but I do not think it should be mandated. And I think claiming that anyone who prefers the old school system is somehow stupid, I think that's really wrong.
Yeah, I think there are still concerns that no one should really be forced into getting this digital ID.
And also concerns about what it's really all about. I mean, the impression that I get from that commercial is they're lying to you. They're telling you you need this on your phone so that you can buy a beer, only if you're young or look young. That's not what it's all about. This is an app which on your phone, I take it, can track wherever you are and track every movement. You will live in a surveillance society where if the government wants to, it can know where you are at any minute, any time of the day, any day of the week, and it's all there and they can check where you were at 11 o'clock last Thursday morning. I just think it's very close to Big Brother is watching you.
Yeah, I agree.
And that worries me.
I think so too. I think there are concerns when everyone is forced to sign up to this. If you want to, and it's easier, and you want to go out to the pub and buy whatever beer you want and not be clumsy, sure. But I agree with you, Kel. I think there's
not optional.
concerns.
There's something going on. There's another agenda. Remember they brought out this health thing where you can have this My Health and everything your doctor tells you ends up being loaded there. And they keep reassuring you, no, it's going to be perfectly all right. Only authorised individuals will be able to get into it, including the sales staff at the local chemist. But, just authorised. But you could opt out. So I opted out, and I'm not in it. I'm not part of it. When they bring in a digital ID and they say, you can't opt out, you're getting this whether you want it or not, they've got another agenda.
I think so. Absolutely right.
The digital side of this is the other side.
Yeah, so this digital ID is leading to the MOTB. All right, because a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, that's the mark of the beast. No, the mark of the beast is a literal, Karax, all right, Karagma, a stamp, an all, like I said, Karax, where you get the word. Again, if I was to open up Revelation, the 13th chapter, and exhaust the word mark, Karax, which means, something sharpened to a point, driven, like you build a trench, you put a stake in the ground, so imagine you're branding, you think about a brand like an earring, right? A nose ring, that's the same thing. You said it said in the right hand or in the forehead, Elon Musk is speaking about the brain chip, the Neuralink, and then the system is already set up everywhere. Gas station, stores. Even at the gas station, some of them pumps will be kind of dirty and dingy and old, but they'll still have that system there. It might not even work, but they can always just call a nigga to come through and connect that shit up. All right, because QR codes, and these things condition you because there's going to be a sudden where they're going to just switch, as it speaks in Revelation the 13th chapter, and make it mandatory. All right, and it's going to be punishable by death if you don't. There was a movie that came out some years back where they actually show you that. Okay, they got them guillotines. Why you think the Department of Homeland Security, it came out, they were ordering, so many guillotines. All right, because they're going to have something called a yellow list, red list, and a green list. Like pretty much they're going to list you by what content you watch, what what kind of stuff you post on social media. And certain people are going to be re-educated. And if you can be re-educated, they're going to stick you with the chip. All right. And then you can go back into your little 15-minute city and eat your little, drink your maggot milk, your jailhouse prison food. All right. Or they're just going to off you. and they want to depopulate the majority of the people. So it's not even going to matter if you're totally with it. For a lot of people, okay, you're gonna be like a number. You know, okay, today we need to kill 50,000. Okay, this is where it's going. You know, and believe it from the mouth of the prophets. Best believe it. You know. So let's finish letting him talk about it. So this is not the MOTB. This is steering you in that direction. Okay, that's what the CV-19 was really about. It was a live simulation, and I'm not saying that. Okay, the people who ran it were actually telling you. You could look at something called the what was it called? It was some documents, Operation Lockstep. Yeah, look up something called Operation Lockstep. Okay, so yeah.
Side of the control system, where if you have a digital ID, you cannot take part in mainstream society without the digital ID. That's the idea in the end.
Which was just proposed by the Prime Minister here.
Just proposed by Keir Starmer.
Right, with the reason being illegal immigration, which I would love to get into.
Yeah, well, what's kind of interesting.
And this is how quick they could have 15-minute cities. There's already, so when this thing go down and they make shit mandatory, of course it's going to be martial law. And they're going to block off certain streets. It's going to be so violent, so much crime. Certain, Second Esdras, I think it's the 15th or the 16th chapter speaks about this. You won't be able to go into another city. They'll put up brigades and barriers to cut off certain cities and then actually guard other cities or places. All right. And one of the popular things right now is building these cheap ass apartments everywhere, right in the middle, these little spaces. So they could say, all right, we're going to take 3 of these zones and the people who want to go and chip, all right, we'll let them dwell over there. The thing is this, how many people have to die in general? You see what I'm saying? Because not everybody's going to be able to fill these particular zones. Certain people are going to be left to starve. The crime is going to be unguarded. There's going to be no 911. Okay, people are going to off each other, eat each other. The scriptures speak about all this. Home invasions on each other, all of that shit. Up one another, families, relatives. They show you that in the Purge movie as well. Okay, so all of this is all coming just to one big snowball. Jacob's trouble. It's going to be all mixed in one. The famine. You know what I'm saying? We speak about that. The pestilence. The Hunger Games out here, man. Okay.
Because
problem, reaction, solution.
I do say, I've said over the years many times, this cult plays the long game.
Yeah.
And I also came up with this phrase, problem, reaction, solution. You create the problem, blame someone else for it, and then openly offer the solution to the problems you have covertly created. And
who's been saying that first and foremost? The watchers, the watchmen. And see, that's what people don't understand, because you Christians, you're not dealing with the Bible accurately. The Lord set up watchers, which are the prophets, that will be doing exactly what we're doing. We're not doing anything outside of the scriptures. We're not doing anything new. We're not remixing. We're not recreating. We're street preaching, just like the apostles and disciples over 2,000 years ago in the Lord. That's what they were doing. They weren't in the church, man. Okay, then they went underground and they was house to house. Okay, so they was on the street. They was traveling to other cities and other countries and getting out on the streets and breaking off into camps, groups of 3s and 4s, man. 2s and 3s, Okay, and they kept adding to the church, so those groups got bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's what you don't understand, that what we're doing is completely accurate, and everything else around it is either a remix or trying to attach itself or align itself with what's already been said, the prophets. Okay.
Immigration went off the charts under Tony Blair.
With AI, You can create a realistic clone of yourself in just 10 minutes. You can use
under Tony Blair when he was prime minister. In fact,
That was crazy, that commercial. We're gonna be able to do that in real life. Say you could make with AI, you can make a carbon copy of yourself within minutes. See, that's the spirit, Revelation the 13th chapter. The people are wondering at the technology of this beast. All right, the lying wonders and miracles, the technology, but it's still not real. Okay, you gotta look at a phone screen for it to be real. You gotta put some VR glasses on for it to be real. You know, the power that we're gonna get from on high. All right, waiting on the Lord, being renewed in the Lord. He that waited upon the Lord shall renew his strength. We're gonna be able to do that physically, just by a thought.
some years after he left office, someone who was in that group came out and said the plan was to open the doors to immigration to such an extent, these were his words, that Britain was culturally changed in a way that was irreversible. Okay? Who's been the big promoter now of digital ID to meet the problem of immigration? Tony Blair.
Oh yeah. Britain, Europe is being overran by Muslim, right, by Arabs and shit, and that's on purpose. Problem, reaction, solution. And in the last, so years, they've been doing that over here in America in the name of a border crisis. Okay, there's no coincidence. It's all orchestrated, man. Which goes into where's that? Daniel's the second chapter. I brought that out in a previous lesson. How it speaks about in Daniel's. It speaks about that mingling of the people that would not agree. All right, within the 10 toes, the different nations, of the last leg, because we're in the last leg. We're at the feet.
The man who's actually the handler of Keir Starmer. So they play the long game. They create the problem, and then they come out and say, here's the solution to the problem, which just advances the agenda. And so the digital ID is connected to the digital currency. The central bank digital currencies. And the key thing about digital currencies is they are programmable. Programmable so that from a central point you can dictate what people can buy, what the digital currency will work to buy and what it won't work to buy. Also programmable in an area that they will operate within, and outside of it they won't. So if you want to create, which is now a big thing that's becoming more and more obvious, more and more people are becoming aware of it, this 15-minute city isolation zoning of people so that everything they say will be, this has come from people like the World Economic Forum, but it's much wider now. Everything that you need, they say, will be within a 15-minute cycle ride or walk from your home. And all these cameras that are going up all over the cities, like in London, they're for various excuses, like various zones. If you enter them, then you get fined if you've got the wrong vehicle, or the congestion charge and all that stuff. All these cameras, number plate cameras, the longer term reason for them is to police these zones which people are kept in. Now, what better way of keeping them in a zone than their currency will not work if you leave the zone? how are you going to buy anything even if you do leave the zone? And this programmable money is the most fundamental deletion, potentially, of freedom.